Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the disability meeting from March 2019. Please make your introductions for the record.
Stephanie Zimber, designee for Commissioner O'Neill.
John Dorsey, designee for Control, Scott Stringer.
Cynthia Collins, designee for Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Phil Dukes, designee for Finance Commissioner Jacques Jiha.
Brian Berge, Law Department by invitation.
Marta Ross, Law Department by invitation.
Joe Alejandro, PBA.
David Morris, PBA by invitation.
Matt Sharp, PBA by invitation.
Mark Marino, PBA by invitation.
Juan Bizarretto, PBA.
Anthony Riley, designee at Mullins, SBA.
Gary DeRosa, SBA, present by invitation.
Vic Sifuni as counsel, SBA, LBA, CEA.
Steve Babelia, designee for Lou Tarco, LBS.
Roy Richter, CEA.
Kenny Sparks, DEA, designee for Mike Palladino.
Justice, DEA by invitation.
Marty Williams, DEA by invitation.
Sherry Chance, the actuary, present by invitation.
Bob Senskis, State Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Kevin Holleran, Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Lieutenant Tim Meehan, Medical Division by invitation.
Diane Carr, Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Charles Pastretta, Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Stanley Thomas, Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Nicole Jambrisi, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Keith Snow, Office of the Actuary by invitation.
John Flynn, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation. Gregory Hyde, Police Pension Fund, by invitation.
Mary Young, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation. Dana Lawrence, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Nancy Randall, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Chris McGrath, PBA by invitation.
Okay. I think that's everybody in the room. Ready? So, page 1 to accept the minutes of the previous meeting, Wednesday, February 13, 2019. I'd like to so move that. And to confirm the next meeting date, Wednesday, April 10, 2019. Article 2, pages 2 through 15.
Nothing of a controversial nature, Joe. So move.
Thank you, Kay. So move on pages 2 through 15. Okay, page 16 through 43, a resolution regarding police actuarial assumptions and methods. Before we talk about that, I just have a statement to read, and then the board can do what it like. So we understand the changes being proposed in the 2019 Assumption and Method Resolution are based on a study being conducted by Bolton. Well, we've been told by the actuary that Bolton has informed her that the report is not going to change before it becomes final. Am I correct in that? Because I remember you did say that. Right. We also understand that there are 3 reports, a preliminary, a draft, and a final report that still have not been released. And that final report is not expected to be finalized until July 1st, 2019. We object to this board voting on a resolution that is based on a report that has not been released or shared with this board and is not expected to be final until July 1st, 2019. Based on that, we should not vote on the proposed resolution. But if the board proceeds with the vote, our vote will be in accordance with our statement.
I want to respond to that. Just to remind the board that the role that the auditors serve is purely an advisory role. The actuary for the City of New York, is not obligated by statute to use and implement the suggestions and recommendations by the external auditors.
That may be what the law says. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the law recently, but the whole purpose of having an audit is to ensure that everything is being done according to practice. And all we have to do as a board is to ensure that that's what is being done at the end of the day. That's what we always look at, not whether the actuary, and the actuary, you may be entirely correct in that. You could ignore it. You can follow some of it. You may follow all of it. But it's up to the board to determine how it proceeds going forward, whether to accept everything or nothing based on what the actuary is presenting. That's what the purpose of the board is. We could disagree on this, but I've read my statement. I stand by it, and the board can do what it wants.
So I think we're ready to vote.
Okay. So I'd like a roll call vote.
Okay, PBA?
PBA votes no.
DEA?
Yes.
SBA?
Yes.
LBA?
Yes.
CEA?
Yes.
Commissioner of Finance?
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Police Commissioner,
Yes.
and the Controller.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Next, pages 44 through 57, the police actuarial option factor memo. One thing I request is that we'd like a roll call vote on this, but also that we have for discussion purposes for the next meeting, the applicability of the option memo possibly to retirees who have obviously already retired prior to this April 1st date that the actuary has set for this.
Okay, roll call vote. DBA,
PBA abstains.
DEA,
Yes.
SBA,
Yes.
LBA,
Yes.
CEA,
Yes.
Commissioner of Finance,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Police Commissioner,
Yes.
and the Controller.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Pages 58 through 77, a resolution regarding the police preliminary fiscal year 2020 employee contribution. PBA would at this time like to table that since we just received it and we would like to go through it for another month.
Would you like to hear just a high level of what changed from last year?
I would.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So in the memo, as you see, the contribution for preliminary 2020 is about $2.46 billion. That does represent almost a $100 million decrease from last year's preliminary fiscal year 19 employer contribution. So that's a gain to the system. The two largest pieces of this gain is obviously the asset returns. Police earned about 9.4% on their fund for fiscal year 18. And the other is due to mostly salary gain because the majority of the active members are out of contract right now. Their contract has expired. So you did see a gain pertaining to the salary.
Okay. So we'll review that and we'll get back to you next month.
Can I ask one question on
Yes.
that? I see the assumptions for the salary increase is 3% annually as part of the city's contribution. Does the city then budget as part of the fringe benefit a 3% salary increase? And if the salary increase is less, is there a savings that goes back to the city?
So fringe benefits are not in the employer contributions. That is something that is additionally calculated by OMB. So that's fringe benefits are not part of it.
But is when the salary increase is less than 3%, does that subsequently result in a reduced contribution by the city?
Yes, and that's why you can see part of this gain is due to the salary increase.
Okay. And that salary, so if the salary is less than 3% and there's a reduction in the future city contribution as a result of that difference between the actual salary increase and the assumed one?
Yeah.
Is that dollar number identified any place specifically, or is that just part of the overall mix?
That is identified. We do have that number calculated, yes.
And is that a number that I'd be able to find in the report, or?
In the report that's not issued yet?
Yes.
It will be in the report, yes.
It will be?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, just the report, just for clarity, which report are you talking about?
The pension valuation report.
Yeah, Catherine. All right, next resolution on page 78, the OPEB data 2019 board resolution. We would like to so move that, but in accordance as been in the past, we would like a copy of the data as we have done previous meetings. We request the OPEB data. And finally, the pages 79 through 81, a resolution, police reimbursement of fiscal year 2018 net cost for implementing Chapter 41 of the laws of 2016. We'd like to roll call vote on that.
DBA,
PBA abstains at this time.
DEA,
Yes.
SBA,
Yes.
LBA,
Yes.
CEA,
Yes.
Commissioner of Finance,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Police Commissioner,
Yes.
and the Controller.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, page 82, resolution, controller as custodian of the funds.
Joe, I believe that was handed out. It's consistent with the past resolutions that were passed by this board. And I will note that several years ago, we changed the opening bullet point 1 to more closely follow the administrative code. And that's in the version that you have in front of you. And I believe about sometime within the last 12 months, we shifted this to a quarterly. Approval rather than an annual. So we submit that today for.
And in keeping with that, it's
doing great work.
And keeping that, it's consistent with the prior ones that we have voted on after we made the change. I'd like.
And can I make a note in subsection E? It says the
D?
powers, E,
E.
as in Edward. It's the powers from April 1, 2019 to June 30, 2018.
Oh, that's going
Could
to
we
be.
please make a note that it's 2019, not 2018?
So noted, we'll accept the friendly amendment to what's in front of you.
So I would like to so move the amendment and to continue until June 30, 2019. Okay. All right. And page 83, resolution, retiree change of option.
One of our retired members has gotten divorced, and in his divorce proceeding, his former spouse waived all spousal rights to his pension benefit. Accordingly, he's requesting that the board grant his request to revert from option 2, 100% joint survivor, to the max. If any of the trustees would like to see the stipulation of settlement, I have it here. I just can't make it part of the public record.
I think we'll trust you on that. All right, so we'd like to so move that.
Thank you.
All right. I think that ends the agenda, and I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for purposes of discussing disability cases.
Second.
Okay.